Everyone knows someone like that. That person who arrives in a new place and within a few minutes already seems like part of the group. They talk to someone for the first time and the other person already feels comfortable. They walk into a room, greet people, smile, say a few simple sentences, and that's it. Their presence leaves a mark. And then you look and think, how does this person do that? Were they born this way? Is charisma a gift? But let me tell you something important right at the beginning. Charisma is not magic. Charisma is not luck. Charisma is not about being extroverted all the time, speaking loudly, telling jokes, or trying to get attention. In truth, charisma is a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned. The name for this is creating connection. It is when you manage to make the other person feel that there is harmony between you. It is when the conversation flows, the atmosphere becomes light, the person lowers their guard and starts to feel comfortable around you. And that changes everything. Because at school, at college, at work, in an interview, in a presentation, in a group of friends, or even in a quick conversation with someone you have just met, those who know how to connect get ahead. But pay attention. This is not about manipulating people. It is not about pretending to be someone you are not. It is not about using tricks to control others. It is about learning to communicate in a more human, more present, and more respectful way. Because the truth is simple. People like being around those who make them feel seen, heard, and valued. And today I'm going to show you 5 simple attitudes that can make you become a much more charismatic, more interesting, and more memorable person in the environments where you live. The first attitude is say people's names. It seems basic, but almost no one uses this properly. A person's name is one of the most important words to them. When you call someone by their name, you are not just getting their attention. You are saying, even without saying it directly, I noticed you. I know who you are. You are not just one more person in the middle of the crowd. Imagine 2 situations. In the first, you arrive at a snack bar and say, well, hey buddy, get me a sandwich. In the second, you look at the name tag and say, Carlos, please, could you get me a sandwich? Do you notice the difference? The sentence is practically the same, but the impact is different. Because now there is recognition, there is respect, there is personalization, and this applies to any environment. At school, when you call a classmate by name, the conversation already starts differently. At college, when you remember the name of someone who sat near you in the last class, that person notices. At work, when you address people by name, you create a feeling of closeness without needing to force intimacy. But there is one detail. Do not overdo it. You do not need to keep repeating the person's name in every sentence, because then it becomes artificial. Use it naturally. At the beginning of the conversation, in a thank you, in a sincere compliment, or in a goodbye. For example, thanks Lucas, you explained that really well. Carla, I liked your point. Bruno, thank you for the help. This seems small, but repeated small attitudes build presence. And charisma is very much this, doing the basics with attention. The second attitude is look people in the eyes, but without intimidating them. Eye contact is one of the strongest ways to show presence. When you talk to someone while looking down, at your phone, or all over the place, the person feels that you are not really there. Even if you are listening, the impression you give is one of distraction, insecurity, or lack of interest. Now, when you look into someone's eyes naturally, the message changes. You convey confidence, you convey attention, you convey firmness. But I know many people struggle with this, especially those who are shy or feel uncomfortable in face-to-face conversations. So here is a simple tip. Instead of trying to stare at the person, briefly observe the eye area. Notice the color of their eyes, their expression, the movement of their face. This helps you maintain presence without seeming like you are staring. And if it is still difficult, look at the area between the eyes or slightly above, in the middle of the forehead. The other person will probably feel as if you are maintaining eye contact, and you will feel more comfortable. But be careful. Eye contact is not a competition. It is not about staring fixedly without blinking, as if you were challenging someone. That is scary. The secret is balance. Look, listen, Look away for a few seconds. Come back, like a natural conversation. And this also applies to the digital world. In a video call, an online presentation, a meeting, or even when recording stories, try to look more at the camera. This creates the feeling that you are speaking directly to the person on the other side. It may feel strange at first, but it conveys much more confidence. And confidence is a huge part of charisma. The third attitude is smile for real. Smiling seems simple, but it completely changes the energy of an interaction. When you look at someone too seriously, you may seem closed off, distant, or even threatening. But when you combine eye contact with a light smile, the message changes. Everything is okay. You can feel comfortable here. A smile is a universal language. Before you even say anything, it already communicates openness. But there is a difference between truly smiling and forcing friendliness. A real smile appears in the eyes, in the face, in the intention. It does not need to be exaggerated. It does not need to be fake laughter. It can simply be a lighter, more welcoming expression. Think of someone you consider pleasant. That person probably is not serious all the time. They smile when they greet people, when they hear something interesting, when they say thank you, when they celebrate something with others. And this creates a feeling of safety. In social groups, people are always trying to understand, even without realizing it. Is this person friendly? Are they trustworthy? Do they judge me? Can I get closer? A sincere smile answers a lot before words do. But here too, there is an important point. Smiling does not mean being silly, submissive, or pleasing everyone. You can be a firm person and still have a light energy. In truth, the most memorable people usually combine two things: posture and lightness. They know how to take a stand, but they do not make the environment heavy. They have presence, but they do not need to intimidate. They know how to joke around, but they do not lose respect. So practice this. When greeting someone, smile. When saying thank you, smile. When hearing good news, smile along. When meeting someone you know, show on your face that this person is welcome. This seems small, but for the person receiving it, it makes a difference. The fourth attitude is, do not try to top other people's stories. This one is one of the most important. You know that person who, whenever someone shares something, always has a bigger story? You say, "Man, I'm happy. I managed to buy my first good phone." The person replies, "Oh, cool. Mine is way better. I bought the newest model." You say, "I'm tired. I slept badly last night." The person replies, "You don't know what tired is. I only slept 2 hours." You say, "I went through a difficult situation." The person replies, "That's nothing compared to what happened to me." This breaks connection. Because when someone shares a story, especially an achievement or a pain, they are not opening space for competition. They are opening space for presence. Sometimes the person just wants to be heard. They just want to feel that someone cared. They just want to share a moment. And when you try to top the story, even without meaning to, the message that comes across is, "What happened to me is more important than what happened to you." That pushes people away. So when someone shares an achievement, celebrate it. Don't belittle it. Don't compare. Don't throw cold water on it. If someone says, "I passed an interview," you can reply, "Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations. How was it?" If someone says, "I bought my first car," you can say, "What an achievement. That must have been an incredible feeling." If someone says, "I managed to give a presentation without freezing," you can say, "Nice. I know that was important to you." See? You didn't steal the spotlight. You made the person's moment bigger. And if the person is sharing something bad, the rule is similar. Don't turn their pain into a competition. If someone says, "I'm going through a difficult phase," don't immediately reply with, "Oh, me too, and in my case it was worse." Sometimes the best thing is to say, "I understand. Do you want to talk more about it?" "Wow, I can imagine that was heavy. I'm here." Listening creates connection, and a person who knows how to listen becomes rare, because almost everyone is waiting for their own turn to speak. Want to be more charismatic? Stop treating conversation like a stage and start treating conversation like a bridge. The fifth attitude is, make small symbolic gestures. Charisma isn't only in what you say, it's in what you make the person feel. And small gestures have enormous power. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. It doesn't have to be something grand. Many times, what leaves a mark is attention. You notice that a coworker is quiet and ask, "Is everything okay today?" You remember that someone had an important test and send a message afterward. "So, how did it go?" You know that a person likes a certain chocolate. And one day you bring one for them. You see that someone is overwhelmed and offer help with something simple. These gestures communicate something very strong. I pay attention to you. And everyone likes to be noticed. In a world where many people only want to talk about themselves, those who pay attention to others naturally stand out. But the gesture needs to be genuine. Don't do it expecting something in return. Don't do it to manipulate. Don't do it to create emotional debt. Do it because you want to build better relationships. In the workplace, this can mean recognizing someone's effort. In college, it can mean helping a classmate who missed a class. At school, it can mean including someone who was left out. In a group of friends, it can mean remembering an important date or celebrating a small achievement. These attitudes seem simple, but they build reputation. And reputation is what people feel about you when you're not around. Now put it all together. Calling someone by their name shows recognition. Looking them in the eye shows presence. Smiling shows openness. Not trying to outdo stories shows maturity. Making small gestures shows care. This is charisma in practice. It's not a character. It's not pretending. It's not trying to be popular at any cost. It's learning to make people feel good in your presence. But here comes a very important warning. Being charismatic doesn't mean wanting to please everyone. You don't need to be friends with everyone. You don't need to accept everything. You don't need to always be available. You don't need to become an artificial version of yourself just to be accepted. True charisma is born when you combine respect for others with respect for yourself. Because there is a difference between being pleasant and being needy for approval. The pleasant person creates a good environment. The needy person tries to mold themselves so they won't be rejected. The charismatic person listens. The insecure person agrees with everything. The charismatic person values others. The person desperate for acceptance makes themselves smaller to fit in anywhere. So understand, the goal is not to make everyone like you. The goal is to become more conscious in the way you communicate. And when you improve your communication, your social life changes. You start entering groups with more ease. You talk better. You create opportunities. You get closer to the right people. You learn to leave a good impression without having to force it. And perhaps most importantly, you begin to realize that presence is not about being the most attractive, the funniest, the richest, or the most popular. Presence is about energy, posture, and attention. There are people who arrive somewhere wanting to prove their value. And there are people who arrive wanting to create value. The second ones always leave a stronger mark. Because those who try to prove themselves all the time become heavy. Those who naturally create value become interesting. So the next time you enter a conversation, try this. Remember the person's name. Look with more attention. Smile naturally. Listen without competing. Ask a sincere question. Notice their emotional state. And when you can, make a small gesture of consideration. You'll be surprised by the difference. Because many relationships don't improve because of big speeches. They improve because of small signs of respect. And deep down, everyone wants this. To be seen, to be heard, to be remembered, and to be treated like someone important. So remember this phrase, charisma is making the other person feel valued without you needing to make yourself smaller. And if you learn this early, at school, in college, at work, or in any group, you'll stand out in a much stronger way. Not because you're trying to appear, but because your presence starts to feel good. And people who feel good to be around are remembered. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel to keep learning about communication, behavior, presence, and personal development. And comment down below, which of these 5 attitudes do you most need to practice starting today? See you in the next video.